Took way longer than I thought it would. Anyway, let me pull up the PowerPoint on my other screen here, and I'll pull up Discord on the other monitor. Welcome.
So live?
Yes, we are live. We got everything all set up. We're all fine. Welcome everyone to season 2 of Tower Hub Talks. It's not a Kirby Rocket event if something doesn't go wrong or if I forget something, but nonetheless, we are here. And this is the beginning of a new era as we transition into having these posted on Discord to have, or how do I say, to avoid all the issues that Discord or Tower Unite does have when running the show, whether it be that my mic sounding like static or just in general connection issues and loading in as a whole. We will probably release that studio to where you can, take a look at the work in progresses and the stuff like that. But for now, let's take a look at what's on the agenda. If I can tab into the right tab, please. All right. So, on the agenda today, we have, of course, we're going to talk about game updates. We're not just going to talk about Tower Unite this time. We are going to talk about stuff from February, all the way from February 18.7.0 to the current 1.0.0 update. 1.0.0.0. I'm not used to saying, I'm just going to call it 1.0 because there's not a single number there. And of course, we have VRChat 2025 2.1 beta changes in addition to the previous beta that kind of fixes what happened there. I didn't put that in the agenda, but I probably should have, but that's totally okay. In addition, we're going to talk about the game events, stuff happening in Tower Unite with the official events, stuff happening on the community events, which will be posted later as a full calendar. And finally, of course, we got the Tower Hub Discord events, such as talk shows like these, and further things that we have planned. And then last but not least, Tower Triumphs. The one thing that hasn't changed in their entire show is that we're going to talk about any wins, positive things, cool things that have happened since the month of February. We are opening the gate a little bit bigger this time because, I didn't host this talk show since the award show because I did not want to host more than 2 events a month. I can't do that. That drives me insane. Alright. Starting off, game updates. Starting with TU 18.7.0, 18.8.0, 18.9.0, 18.10.0, 18.11.0, 18.11.1, which is actually a very big hotfix, and of course 1.0, in addition to the VRChat updates. So, 18.7.0, as you may be aware, it was the bowling rework, and not just that, it was also the SDNL announcer. With the bowling physics rework, we were able to get, what was it? The network for oh my goodness, bless me. The networking for bowling was redone from the ground up, meaning that things like the ball slowing down when it hit the end of the pins, it was able to actually work to an extent. Doesn't work entirely, but it does work to the extent.
I can't see any difference.
Coming from a personal standpoint, I don't see much of a difference. I really don't. It might have been reworked to a point that you might notice it. You might notice a difference if there's maybe 30 or 40 players, but if there's 50 plus, 50, 60 plus, I feel like it's not going to be much of a difference because I haven't noticed much of a difference, and I usually played on high population servers when this update came out. So,
especially on the anniversary right now, since we got many more new players in the plaza.
And as a result, it is supposedly more reliable, but I'm not entirely sure if those issues are drastically reduced, but that's what they say in their patch notes, so that's what I'm going to write here. With the SDNL announcer, it's been over a year, but we finally got Gianni Matrograno is finally in the game. Almost every action in regards to SDNL does have a voice line. Whether if you fall off the map, if you get hit by a super weapon, if you get sniped, just in general, there's a ton of stuff. And
if honestly, you look to the left, if you look to the right,
oh, I wish it'd be that.
There's every freaking comment. Sometimes I hear multiple voices instead of just one.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff there was a lot of lines because at the end of the day, this was over a year ago, and he wasn't really sure that he was getting his stuff into the game until I had kind of said something to him, But nonetheless, it's pretty exciting, and there's because of the fact that I've known Gianni for as long as I have, it's honestly exciting for me to see, and I love his work. So seeing his work in this game is pretty freaking awesome. Of course, like I said, reactions on different scenarios, and Billiard got some fixes as well. Hello, PowerPoint, please.
That's
yeah, PowerPoint moment.
There we go.
Yeah, no. It fixed the core networking issues with Billiards, and it should now be able to be fully playable, because before I think they disabled it in the plazas, and now it's actually functioning. I actually think Billiards is a little bit better. I did try it out. You know, it wasn't anything that I would write home about, but it certainly was better than what it was before, where the balls were just spinning for no real reason, and it didn't make sense. In the meantime, some milestones were done, and mirror mode was created for Accelerate. Let's talk a little bit about this. In addition to the mirror mode, we also got unit routes. So all those routes with the unit signs, it means that you can collect coins, and you can get a pretty significant boost in terms of like EXP, units, and just in general, something that makes grinding EXP and Accelerate not entirely miserable. It does, of course, these routes are typically a little bit longer than your typical route, so if you're doing it in a multiplayer, it might not be worth it unless you're trying to just get money. But in general, it's something that has been implemented since Accelerate's launch back in, I want to say, 2021, 2020, I'm not sure. But it's nice to see.
It's been a long way.
It's been a long time coming, and it's finally here. That's really what matters, yeah. Excuse me. In addition, like I said, mirror mode, meaning it's the same track but flipped on the other side. When you would turn left, you would turn right. If you were turn right, you would turn left. Stuff like that. It's pretty cool. If you've ever played a mirror mode in Mario Kart, it's basically the same thing. Plus, the arcade milestone items are finally finished. We got the ticket gun, the Pluck a Pal, which is kind of like a grappling hook. More like a Terraria grappling hook rather than like a 007 swing grappling hook type beat. And of course, you have the I think that's the boardwalk light gun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the boardwalk gun.
Yeah. The boardwalk gun is there as well, which is pretty freaking cool. I think it replaces the lonely gun bullet, but instead it's just the actual gun itself. Even though that's like a different gun. I don't know. It's weird. I thought it was weird how they approached it because it's more used in the boardwalk than it is in the arcade, but that's okay.
I mean, they're both the same thing in the end.
Yeah, really, it's just the same thing, just retextured and reskinned. But what isn't the same... Well, I guess it is kind of the same thing. What is retextured and reskinned...
One of them is, the other isn't.
We got the new STNL map Lookout, which is basically Acrophobia in the form of an STNL map. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty nice. I actually like this map in comparison to previous maps. A lot of variety and stuff like that. But in addition to that, we also got Container Ship having a rework, meaning like there's new layouts and various ways to help improve the gameplay, movement flow, and visibility, with the focus on the central area of the map rather than being on the sides of the map. Because that was really the biggest problem in STNL, from what I've heard from a lot of STNL players. People didn't like Container Ship because you could just go on the outskirts and it was objectively better in most cases. But
before you continue, Dalton asked, he doesn't want to interrupt, but is it really live on YouTube or is it just on Discord?
It will be live on YouTube. It should be live right now. In fact, if you go on youtube.com
it doesn't say that's live.
What?
Awesome.
No, it says that I'm live. Not on my main channel. It's on the Tower Hub YouTube channel.
The Tower Hub?
Yeah. Not my channel. I try to separate those to YouTube.
Yeah, I'm on the Tower Hub.
What? Hold on. It's not a crypt. Something went wrong here.
Imagine it's been unlisted. I mean, at least you'd have a VOD. But
yeah, I think it might be unlisted. Yeah, it's marked as unlisted. Hold on. Let me see if I can get you a link here. That's so weird. Here's a stream URL. OBS hasn't given me this.
That's what you're broadcasting to.
Fuck. You didn't see that. You did not.
Nothing sensitive in there. Don't worry.
Hold on. That's the stream. This is the. It says that's a streamer URL. Actually, it literally says stream URL.
Yeah, that's the server that it's broadcasting to.
Okay. That's so weird though. Why is it marked as unlisted? That is so...
we just go to the YouTube dashboard and then live tab, set it to public, and then anyone can turn it on YouTube after you've set it to public.
Yeah, I'm on the... Hold on. I'm at the...
And anybody in the VOD will see this, it'll be great.
Yeah, they can see my live reaction in real time. This is so weird though. Why is it not showing? I will not end the stream. I'm trying to exit the stream. Let's go to YouTube Studio real quick. Go to content. Live. Edit. I'm so sorry. You know, it's not. It really isn't a Kirby Rocket event if something doesn't go wrong, isn't it? Anyway, that should have changed it. And here you go. There's a live stream to that.
There we go.
There we go. Like I said, it's not a Kirby Rocket event if I don't mess up at least one thing. It's fine. It's been a hot minute, and oh my god, I'm so loud. I'm gonna turn myself down. I just noticed on stream I'm fucking massively loud, but it's fine. I'm also gonna turn down. I realized desktop audio was doubled up, so there we go. So, yeah, there we go. Cool.
All right, thanks for the question.
Thank you for the help, Delton. I appreciate that. I really do. That actually was super helpful. I honestly wouldn't have noticed. Like I said, I knew I was forgetting something. I just couldn't tell what it was. All right. Moving on to 18. In addition to 18.7.0, we got a bunch of new items, and I do mean a lot. We got cheese, melons, fruit crates, more shelves, and a bunch of road signs. Some of these road signs are customizable. You can put in like whatever character you want, and it's pretty nice. I put nice and neat in the same sentence or in the same like word, and I created nice, which is a word on its own, but
that's a pretty fire word.
It's pretty nice.
Can we start using it?
Fuck it. That's pretty nice. I like that. I like that a lot. But no, it's a bunch of new condo items, you know. These new condo items have been really useful. We did use some of these in the award show, actually. And I am honestly pretty happy with how these have been overall, you know. There was a nice, how do I say it? It was just before the award show, but it was a nice change to have just before. Because we could put saying, hey, look, jetpacks aren't allowed here. You know, stuff like that. And in general, like, road signs of where you can go. And also, I could even point out the specific camera one, like the under surveillance. That was one that we also put, because, you know, that way people act up. Hey, we're streaming this. And if you get banned for something that happened on here, don't be surprised that you did something stupid on camera. Anyway, update 18.8.0 added Zombie Massacre's Escape Map, a 6-part map with various. Well, I think it's 6 parts. It feels like 6 parts. It might just be 4. But it's a 6. I'm going to keep rolling with the idea of a 6-part, because it basically feels like a 6-part map where you start in various different locations and ultimately end in one ultimately end to fight the boss wherever it is. Starting off in a nice little neighborhood, seemingly like in the outskirts of the house condo. Second being into a little supermarket. Third being the subway station from Virus. Day 4 being the hospital from Virus. I don't know where day 5 would take place, quite frankly. It looks like somewhere in the outskirts of Smooth Autumn. And then finally day 6 being, it just seemed like a unique situation, and it's a unique place overall. But in addition to that, we also have, of course, the new graphics profiles, and of course some changes to the plaza as well, including the Plaza Arcade having some improvements to the throwing responsiveness of Avalanche, Milk Jugs, basically anything with like a physical throwing thing. And then Pluck-A-Pal capsules have returned, so that way they're no longer outside of their like mortal shells, as I call them, basically preventing the prizes from getting stuck from the machine, because as you can imagine, with some plushies being bigger than others and having different collisions than others, it's very easy for these for the plushies to get stuck at that entrance and ultimately causing more issues than wanted. The Plaza Bowling also had some improvements and fixes to the desync issues. Overall, basically, it was kind of like fixing what they already were trying to fix, hoping that they could tackle it in a different way. But they also had a sound pass as well, and art improvements in general to make it more of a lively bowling alley. I know there's only 10 lanes, but still, even with 10 lanes and having more ambiance can really bring out the place as a whole. And of course, those graphic profiles, as mentioned before, basically you can have basic profiles like having everything set to low, to medium, high, ultra, and there's a Steam Deck and VR version as well. So if you're looking to fiddle around with it in VR, or if you're just on the go with the Steam Deck, you can just set your graphics profile to Steam Deck and you'll be A-okay. Last but not least, in 18.8.0, we got the GameWare stores. Kalari is sitting there in the middle of the rooftop, right behind all the action. With this, we also got Kondo.io networking improvements, which means the amount of bandwidth required to load into a new player is significantly decreased because of the SDNL announcer. And this will also improve networking with other players when using Kondo.io as a whole. And as mentioned, the new store with Kalari's Wares, which means that you'll be able to buy certain game world items such as the bullpup, or if you have an existing milestone, like for example the trivia podium, I think it's called a podium, a trivia podium, you're able to buy multiple versions of it. So theoretically, you could host your own version of trivia back at home, and I think that's pretty cool. There's a lot of cool stuff you can get from that, and also that new Kondo videos, which was made by community members, they actually fill out the full catalog of all that new Kondo videos, and some of them were made by TU community members such as Alex Zodaria, who actually did get to make that new Kondo video for Tower Unite, which is pretty freaking cool. New previews showcase the courtyard and the resort alongside the updated versions of the suite and the house, and of course a bunch of more items. Take a look at all these cooking items that we have. Obviously, cooking isn't here just yet, but we're getting closer and closer as the days go by. Also, put more trash cans, even a post box, and even just in general, some computers. Things that people can use. Items. That's what people love to see, especially if you're a Kondo builder, because user-generated content is a huge portion of Tower Unite. Alright, we're making good progress. 18.9.0. This is the networking and quality of life update. This was we're not adding things, we're just trying to improve stuff as we get closer to 1.0, and as you can remember, if you were around for this time, we got very close to 1.0 with this. Networking and prediction improvements, meaning massive improvements in network prediction, sprinting, walking, ladder, sliding, jumping, vehicle movement, vehicle boosting. In general, you're not going to be desyncing and rubber banding as much, or at least that's what they claimed. These changes affect different areas all throughout the game, whether in the game worlds, the plazas, or condos. It's basically everywhere. This is what the goal of this update was. Whether those have actually done anything, that's really up to you to decide. I think it made it. I think there's a difference. It's not. I would say it's noticeable, but I wouldn't say it's the most. It's not. I wouldn't say that it's all there, but it's definitely updated for sure. These changes affect different areas all throughout the game worlds, as I said. Accelerate. Oh my god! I hit the arrow twice. Accelerate network also accelerates networking also got overhauled, meaning they completely eliminated most. I don't want to say all the network related lag. I'm not saying that because I've definitely seen it sit to this, but they've removed most of the network related lag when it comes to boost, power ups, dirts, and walls, stuff like that. They also adjusted the lap amounts for each map, so like not everything's gonna be 5 laps, and some of them are gonna be 3, some of them are gonna be 4, and overall it means quicker games and people are going in and out a lot easier. They've adjusted, in addition to improving the handling and the turning, which if you've seen this, some cars turn faster and stronger where some don't, and I think it's less tied to your frame rate than what it was before. They also changed the speed in certain actions to power-ups, meaning some last longer, some are shorter, and in general it just depends. Last but not least, Ball Race had some changes, which I don't think the core of Ball Race hasn't been changed for years, but the improvements in general is something that's huge. Like for example, the visuals and the audio experience that got improved. This includes more like feedback for areas that have boosts, sound effects for more interactions, better contrast for colors for boosts. Thanks for people who are colorblind like me will actually appreciate stuff like that, because sometimes I couldn't tell if that was a boost or if it was just floor. But in general, it's something nice, and it also added better contrast for the buttons as well, especially when they are pressed down. Not done yet though. Plaza improvements, LODs, light shadows, rendering, and item collision got optimized, meaning that you should be getting slightly more frames when you get into the plaza, and the large loading startup supposedly got fixed. I disagree. I still have large loading startup hitches overall. But that's definitely something that they tried to tackle at 18.9.0. Jetpacks. With the network changes, jetpack movements are supposed to be smoother, and the lighting of the jetpack got improved. This especially is true about the gold jetpack. You might have seen this before. The lighting on that kind of sucked, but in general, it actually has more of that golden shine to it, so it doesn't feel like, like pasty butter, as I like to call it. Speaking of servers that got improved, the Singapore and Australia Plaza server are back online after the connection issues they've had with APAC and the Australia region, meaning that they're no longer going down and out like every freaking day. And then when they'd get back up, they'd be like, oh, we could see if we look for a different server. So they are consistently up for the first time in, I want to say, a couple months. So pretty freaking cool. I pressed up, not down arrow. 18.10, we're getting closer to 1.1 or 1.0. We got only 2 more updates left here. 2? 3. Sorry, I forgot. I didn't include the hotfix because the hotfixes were actually important. So, player sprays. Just like how you have in Gmod to Overwatch, Marvel Rivals, and anything that has a spray, basically you could spray on walls with Plaza, condos, and even game worlds. And these are like sprays and stickers. I think VRChat has something similar to this as well, except it's not pre-made stickers. You could just kind of just spray whatever you want. They have a set of pre-made ones, but you can obviously have custom ones on there. Sprays can be unlocked at the computer customization station in Tower Threads. So right next to the little NPC that has the that sells you all the clothes, there's a little computer. It's got a ferret on it. Excuse me, and then you can go ahead and go buy a bunch of sprays from there. There's over 64 unlockable sprays. They're pretty expensive. If you buy every single one of them, it's over 800,000 units. It's fucking expensive, but it's true. It's all there, and it's all available to you. There are some exclusive ones as well for those who are supporters, those who have Supporter Pack 2, those who have Supporter... I don't think there's any if you have Supporter Pack 1. But there are some...
Supporter Pack 1 doesn't have the content. It's only for Supporter Pack 2.
Yeah, so Supporter Pack 2 and Patreon members get exclusive sprays as well. Player outfits, meaning you can now have presets. So for people like me who have a billion particles or just need to take them off briefly, you can now save those presets available, and they will be equipped in your appearance menu. So just like how you see in the sprays, you can see the Save New Outfit button. You click that, and then you can save it to rename it to whatever you want. You go over to your outfits, and then you can just select from there. It'll have the date that you created the outfit, and you can just swap between each of them freely. It's pretty easy, and it's overall helpful. You should also be able to save workshop player models in an outfit, and the outfit slots are unlimited. The only really limit that you have is your imagination with how many outfits combinations you can come up with. So honestly, out of all the features that have come out in the last few months, this is probably my favorite, because setting all those particles at the same time is a pain in the rear, and I could never do that as many times as I could. Speaking of things that are also my favorite thing that have been added in a few months, condo backups. Every time your condo is saved, the backup will be saved on a local file. So that meaning that if you have a condo save, and let's say your internet goes out, you're not just going to be stuck in your condo until your internet gets back up, because you'll be able to edit it and save it as much as you'd like. Backups are stored in the game files under Tower Unite Backups to Condos. So if you want to go over and check it out, you can check out all your favorite condo saves right there. You can also restore a backup by using a new load from file feature in the condo save menu. This also is helpful if you're doing collaborative efforts where you're passing around a save file, and that allows you to actually just say, hey, let's load this condo up by the file itself and not by anything else. The backup system even works even when Steam Cloud is down, so even if it's Maintenance Tuesday, you're gonna be just fine. Again, these two are like my favorite features overall. I think it's honestly a blessing that they're here, to be honest. Like, genuinely, for anyone that's like trying to save multiple outfits, or is just trying to save their condo from the unfortunate death of Steam Cloud, yeah, it's a big deal. In addition, we got accessories that are now able to be colored. You can now color most of the hats, most of the glasses, and other appearances in the game, with a few exceptions for some of the seasonal items. I think the halo is one of those things that can't be colored. I wish it was, but it's one of those things that you can have a lot of coloring options, and you can really be more expressive with who you are. This was especially helpful when they did the 1.0 trailer, where they asked for volunteers to do that as well. In addition to that, accelerate 150cc. What this means is this mode will allow you to pick up the pace of your race, and allows for a new competition with its own leaderboards. And yes, this means everything is faster. I'll be honest, I didn't notice the difference, but I'm also a really fast racer anyway. But you can get, like, for example, Sunrise Isles done in, like, maybe, I think it's less than a minute or two. I think it's less than a minute, if I recall correctly. So it's one of those things that it's really fast. Definitely worth it. I'm hoping to see 200cc, but I don't know if we'll see that. The Condo High Race had some changes, meaning that there was a bit more cleanup work and that was done on it in this update, and there were more changes that allowed for colorability, hiding map objects, light toggles, and additional map issues that were not addressed and have been acknowledged for several years now. All right.
By the way, there's one small issue with the coloring accessories. And the issue is if you save an outfit with the change color and you want to load up again with the outfit, it doesn't change. No, if you want to load up on a different server, the color doesn't change. So you have to use the saved outfit again. Like you have to use you have to load up your saved outfit again and again for that until there's a fix. Until it works again. Yeah, until there's a fix for it. But if you go into a different server or a different conduit, then it doesn't change. It reverts back to its original color. That's what I want to say.
Yeah,
coloring 3.
I'm sure it's just a bug that they managed to oversee. I haven't been playing around with it too much since February when I think this launched in March and this came and I just wasn't playing the game as much. So yeah, it's definitely something I hope they address and hopefully they can take care of that.
I mean, I figured that out. I figured it out recently, like a couple of days ago. Until then, so
gotcha.
That's what I was seeing. I don't know if the others haven't seen it or not, but that's a small issue that they could fix it real quick. We'll see.
Hopefully they do see it. You know, it's one of those things. If you guys see a report, make sure you guys report it to the Pixeltail forums, and so that way it gets put in the proper place. Whether if it gets seen after that is not in your control, but the fact that you're putting in the right place will say more about you than it'll ever say about them. Moving forward, we got Plaza Auto Reconnect. There's now a system that reconnects a player on Plaza automatically once the Plaza restarts for maintenance, reducing the need for you to have to search and find the Plaza during the maintenance. This is especially helpful for those that are chronically on the Plaza like I used to be, where if it was 3 a.m., for example, 3 a.m. Eastern, 12 a.m. Pacific, if your server reset, you basically were forced off and there was nothing you could do. But instead, it'll just reconnect you to the same Plaza. So that way you can get back in, and especially it's helpful if you're a gambler and you're trying to gamble for that one specific machine that just won't crack that jackpot just yet. In addition, the Workshop SDK had some improvements and fixes. One of the biggest things about this especially is that the player creation now has the ability to preview all the wearables so you can adjust it where needed. Of course, the Kondo IO movers, this also fixed a major issue with the Kondo IO movers that affected publishing on SDK maps. Things like, for example, an SDNL map or a virus map, stuff like that. It fixed the IO movers for that, which is a big deal. We also added a better error handling when it comes to uploading Workshop player models, specifically around creating the icon for the player model. So instead of just saying, oh, the icon's too big, the icon's too small, and even if it is within the size range, they'll actually tell you what the error is. So it's not just gonna spit back at your face being like Hawk Tui and then just it's a stupid joke. Yes. Point is, it's actually helpful, and I am actually pretty excited about it. In addition, they got the Game World ports connection issues fixed. So basically, when you were at the game, and there was an issue in the Game World ports that wasn't properly connecting the players when the game starts. So now, hopefully, that's been fixed. In addition, the friends list before it would just show you a little hyphen instead of showing you where they were. Now that's been fixed, and now you have all the information with where they are, and if that information is public to begin with. Alright, we're almost there. 18.11.0 anniversary. So anniversary came out and we got a bunch of new anniversary items. We got the paper lantern, we got the clown horn, we got the spinny thing. I can't remember what it's called. It's not a twiddle whirl, but I can't remember what it's called. You got the garden gnome. It's a throwable garden gnome, by the way. You can throw this thing. It makes a cut off night scream, and then the second that it hits anything, it'll make a shatter and turn off the night scream. It's pretty freaking sweet. There's also the rainbow crab. That rainbow crab changes colors. It doesn't show it on here because I don't have a GIF version of it, but it's pretty cool, and you can get that. The confetti launcher, that is available in Songbirds of all places. I remember that. So you can go grab that there. I think it's like 10k units per. And there's the throwable cake as well. All these new anniversary items are going to be available until the entire month of April or sometime later whenever they see fit. All right. Almost done. Update 0.18.11.1. We now have coloring accessories, meaning that 6 new unlockable player sprays have been added as well. We also got, as you can see in the bottom right, with bottom right we have these ordered NPC dialogue, which allows you to tell more stories, and it's not just randomized NPC dialogue. And honestly, this takes game I'd say game making, condo building, and storytelling significantly more of a big deal. And I'm honestly excited to see what people create with that. But yeah, these sprays are also available at that same computer from before, and it's available because of the hotfix. All right. And now it's time for the big update 1.0. What's changed, you might ask? Not much, actually. 1.0 was originally a hotfix for 0.18.11.2. That was the original name of the update, but not much has changed. There were some small changes in the house condo and some bug fixes, but there will be more. A lot of content, a lot of bug fixes, and hopefully a lot of fun. Taking a look at some of the content, here's the roadmap for Post 1.0. In Q2 2025, and I think they talk about this on the stream, the workshop rental store is actually the very next thing. They're just trying to fix like one thing, and then they're going to release it. Basically, what that's going to be is you're going to have these condos on the shelf. Take, for example, for mini golf or for like the condos themselves. You'll be able to go throw them into a computer. Or I think it's a computer or a TV. I can't remember which it is. You throw them at there, and it'll kind of like a queue up like you would in Game Worlds. You throw them in there, and then you could have your friends join. You could have everyone join, or you can just have it be yourself in some cases. And then you'll be able to experience it like that, kind of like you're renting from a video store. In addition, later at Q2, which we are approaching the end of Q2, mind you, Condo Pets and Cat Cafe should be happening. So what's going to happen with this Cat Cafe, just like how that blue wall was there after they only made one door for DIY, excuse me, part of that blue wall will be made for the Cat Cafe. So meaning you'll be able to go downstairs and you'll be able to see the Cat Cafe overall, and you'll be able to purchase all your condo pets from there. You'll be able to raise them, and I think if you raise them enough, they can walk around with you. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't look at the stream, so bear with me if I'm a little bit misinformed on that. But there also will be community condos planned for Q2 2025, meaning dedicated servers, a headless form of hosting your condos. So no, the host doesn't have to be there. So as long as the condo is up, it's able to be built. Q3 2025 should have cooking, so hopefully all those cooking items that we have will allow us to make, cool potions, cool effects, cosmetics, just things in general. And beyond Q3, we have new Game World being planned, an arcade update, a digital art book, VR support, and so much more. I think that covers everything for Tower Unite, though. I'm going to let Blueberry take over on this next part. We have the VR chat update for 2025 1.3 and, of course, for 2025 2.1. Blueberry, if you're more than willing to take over, yeah, by all means.
So, with update 2025.1.3, VRChat added quite a few different changes, including camera drones, which are VRChat Plus exclusive. It is they added a fully functioning drone that you can use to fly. You can use it to take cinematic shots of your friends or of all the scenic worlds that you would like to visit. It has FPV controls, so you can fly it around. They added a camera dolly, which is really great for content creation, which allows you to create a set of points along the world in a physical space, and the camera will smoothly follow around these points. They've also added selfie expression, which allows people who don't have a VR headset to use their webcam to track their facial expressions and even hand movements for another level of expression for those who don't have a VR headset. Those were the main updates for that major release. And then in the 2025.2.1 beta, they've added a new edit profile button, which is a whole new modal view, which allows you to change your about me, your profile picture, your bio, links, languages, and they've newly added the ability to set pronouns. They've improved Fizzbones. In the previous update, there was an issue where Fizzbones would jitter when the frame rate was higher than 60 FPS, but those issues have been resolved. They've now simplified the instance configuration flow, so there was an extra step which was removed. It would basically, when you were choosing the privacy of an instance, you had to go through a separate menu, but now it's all consolidated. Now they have also added a improved camera drone for VR in FPV mode. So when you're flying in VR with FPV mode, you can now choose between slow move, static, and headlock mode.
Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of good changes in VR chat. Really, I'm honestly really excited to see where it's gonna go. I'm hoping with time we'll be able to start hosting our own VR chat events. But for now, We don't have any just yet for the month, but we are going to talk about all the game events as well. Big shout outs to Blueberry for covering a lot of that. I know I haven't been keeping up. I've only been keeping up with betas as of this month, so keeping up with the previous beta before 2.1 or 2025 2.1 has been a huge deal. Big shout out to Blueberry. Love that guy. Got a lot of good stuff to go over though. First of all, let's go over to Tower Unite in-game and community events. I don't have the community calendar for you all, but I will talk about some of the Discord events and talk about the IRL events as well. What did I just get texted with? I'm gonna read that later. That's a lot of words. Too bad I'm not reading them. All right, Tower Unite events. So as you guys may have already seen, the Tower Unite event calendar came out. 1.5 units is going to be happening for Accelerate. It'll be the last time. It was going to be the last day for Accelerate stuff. And as previewed from last month, we'll have double fishing happening on that weekend. I'm so acidic. This water sucks. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Following that, we have 1.5 units in EXP from bowling on that Monday, Tuesday, and Trivia: The Pursuit of Knowledge happening on the Wednesday, Thursday of the 7th and the 8th. Double Ticket Weekend will be happening on the 9th through the 11th. I don't like how I phrased that. Anyway, ball race will be happening. Ball race 1.5 units will be happening from that 12th and the 13th on Monday and Tuesday. Double fishing weekday will be happening, on the 14th and 15th. And of course, a mini golf weekend will be happening from the 16th through the 18th. Double tickets will return on the 19th and 20th. The 21st and 22nd will be Accelerate once again. The Virus weekend will return. Honestly, I'm honestly excited for the Virus weekend because Virus is not getting enough attention. But from the 23rd and 25th, you'll get 1.5 units there. Honestly, a great time to play Horde and even greater time to play the PvP mode because it's great units overall. Laser Tag with this Laser Blazer Monday and Tuesday will be returning as an inspired Tower Hub event turned into an official event. 1.5 units in EXP will be happening on the 26th and 27th, and the 28th and 29th will be a ball race event. Wrapping up that month, we'll have the 30th and the 31st alongside the 1st of June being a casino weekend. As for the community events, which I don't have the calendar, so bear with me, you're just going to look at the same calendar like I am. Every Wednesday, as per usual, Bonnie Diane will be doing her karaoke nights. If you want to go check those out, please do. That condo is going to be available, I think, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern. Let me double check that time for you before I say something I'm going to regret. 1, 2, 3. Yes, that's right, 6 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. And going all the way up to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, usually where the group photo happens from there, and the party still continues onwards. I believe it's every Sunday in the month of May. Cartoon Couch will be having its own anime nights, and in fact, I have those animes listed out this time. For Sunday, the April 4th, it'll be Serial Experiments Lane alongside Evangelion. Sunday, May 11th, it'll have Kill la Kill and the Orbital Children. Sunday, May 18th will be Suzume and Squid Girl, and Sunday, May 25th will be Madoka Magica and Insomniacs After School. So every Sunday there will be something from Cartoon Couch. You don't want to miss it. The next screenshot condo was unfortunately delayed from the 10th to the 17th, and I'll show you why it got delayed. But it will be on the 17th. Be on the lookout at the beginning of this month. There will be an interesting announcement that I'm going to be making about the monthly community screenshot, so you don't want to miss that. But IRL events, PAX East is coming soon. Since we are currently on the waiting list for all of our meetups, like I got an email back from ReedPop. They said that we are currently on a wait list. So what we're gonna do, we're probably gonna do a grassroots type thing. We're just gonna meet outside a very specific area, and I'm gonna say, hey, if you're at this convention, please do that. We're also gonna be hosting an IRL Cosmic Cats giveaway. If you are at that convention, please, there's gonna be a form that's gonna go out that's gonna say, hey, if you're at the event, please let us know, and you can enter for a chance to win the giveaway. We're just going to make it really simple. There's 2 giveaways. Don't worry. We're going to have another Cosmic Cat deck that'll be held up on the not official Discord. Fuck the official Discord. Excuse my language. It's going to be held here. So please keep in touch. Stay tuned. There's more to come on that. Also, if anyone is wondering about the merch that we did announce earlier, I am waiting to get the demos, like the demo of the shirt. And I will have more info when I get that. But until then, just going to have to wait. All right. It's my favorite time. It's my favorite time of the show. Tower Triumphs. Got any wins? Positive things? Nice things that happen? This is the place to share it. I spelled 2 wrong. God damn it. It's fucking... I knew I was gonna fuck up one of these slides. I knew I was gonna mess up one of these slides. But... it's the ratchet noisemaker. But no, it's that time of the talk show. So if you have anything nice you want to share, anything cool that happened to you, anything in general that you want to talk about, please feel free to. You can raise your hand. We'll bring you up on stage. Or if you just want to type it out, that's totally okay too. But yeah, the floor is up to you. I'm going to start with myself though, because I've got a lot that happened. In addition to the award show being probably the most proud thing I've ever hosted in my life. Well, no, I don't know about in my life, but in Tower Unite, and it's definitely been like the magnum opus of like all my events. I had a really good time playing a single player game called Turnip Boy commits tax evasion. Honestly, it just kind of revitalized my love for video games. You know, like I haven't played a single player story game in a long time, so playing and completing a single player story game, honestly, it's something refreshing and soothing to the soul, and I honestly recommend anybody just pick up a story game. Like if you're ever getting burnt out of just talking to people in social games or even just competitive PvP games, just play a single player story based game. I think it's really refreshing and you wouldn't regret doing it at all. Abby, Blueberry, you guys got any triumphs you want to share? Just good things in general?
Not really. I haven't been on Tower in a little bit.
Oh, it doesn't gotta be Tower related by all means.
It has to be Tower.
Yeah, this is the section where we talk about just good things in general. It doesn't have to be Tower related. It could be related to what you do personally. It could be related to your life. It could be that you had a nice ham sandwich. Either or. You know, this is the section of that show where we're just happy to share like the good shit that happens in our lives.
Very fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much, I've been working on a bunch of stuff, but pretty much about to release my free VRChat image gallery platform that allows you to smartly sort and share photos with ease.
Woo! That's some good shit. That's some good shit. I have seen that, by the way. I have. If you haven't seen this out, if you haven't seen that media platform for VRChat that Blueberry's working on, trust me, we will feature it. It's gonna be awesome, and I will tell you, it's probably gonna be the coolest thing I've seen in VRChat to this day. Granted, I've only been playing since 2023, but honestly, it's up there in terms of like best things I've ever seen. Abby, what about you? What's your triumph for the last few months, I should say?
Last few months, nothing much, but in this month, I in fact, instead of doing some workout for the arms, I'm now doing for the legs.
Hell
So
yeah!
in other words, I'm just running like very big laps on like around the city. In other words, I did some jogging at I think how much was it? Like 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh my god!
It's not constantly running. It's with some walking as well, because if you run for that long, your legs just not only tend to get hurt. So first it was the problem with was it with the liver? I think it was the liver where you don't have enough stamina to keep going. But after you get used to it, then the legs are just starting to hurt. After that, after you go through the pain, it just start to give up. So I'm now at the point where my legs are just starting to give up.
Oh yeah.
Moving on and on. So yeah, I didn't take a lot of breaks because either I'm start running and then I just kept walking and then I went back to running, and I just switched it up all the time, and it felt pretty good. It's until certain moments where your legs are just giving up and you have to walk home. You have to walk home or try to walk home, but after that it just feels pretty good, to be honest, because something like that, something like that. It just gives how can I say it? It gives more motivation to do more things, whether it's just for certain things like working at home or doing some projects. It really is a different it is a different feeling than just sitting around all day and trying to do something. So I mean, I did that in middle school a lot, but I tend to. I think I stopped after, or no, I stopped in the. Well, in Germany we have a different school system, but on your end it would be like in the high school times where I just stopped, and I definitely stopped working out when I was in my years of studies because I did way too much studies in the computer science, and after that, I just picked it up again, and it started. Then it went pretty well after that. So yeah, that's one thing. Oh, that's at least we can hear you, unlike on certain events. Exactly. Well, that's one thing, and if we want to show any videos or anything else, like screen sharing something, that is also another possibility to do it in here. Or to do it here with the help of like the stream, so everyone can just look at it. It reminds me of reminds me of very strongly on the award show on jank how much jank it was to put on the videos in it. I mean, there's gonna be much more changes later on. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, I I think there's one small thing that we haven't edited, but it's on the last update for Terminite, and it was that Pixelter wanted to make a separate game. They can just add a lot of features. That's it. I mean, right. Exactly. I mean, when it might be. We go way more off topic than that. I mean, it's Toam Talks for a reason. We are talking in Toam. We could. All right, let's. How about? All right, Kirby, I got an idea. How about we rename it? We rename it in off topic talks. Yeah.
My birthday? Yeah.
Oh, great! Now we have to make a blueberry cake.
Yeah. That's completely fine with me.
All right, Frisk. Frisk just said Tower Yep segment.
Also, I was just gonna say, I guess maybe I don't understand the versioning scheme because usually like when you change the major version number, like when you go from 0 point to 1 point, there's like major breaking changes to like the thing, like there's usually major things like in everything I've seen.
Usually, it's
Is it
more
because
of
like they're
the
planning on
quality of
introducing?
So there was a so no, there was a reason why they changed it to 1.0. It's because they had and that's one version that you have talked about, the quality of life update. That was supposed to be like the major change. So they put this one early on, and they later on slapped the 1.0 later on. So there was a comment that said, "Yeah, why is on the 1.0 version? Why is there no like? Why aren't there any changes at all?" And the creator just said that he basically just put on the links of the previous updates said, yeah, we in fact did change a lot of things, but and he continued to just he continued to talk about some other things why they wanted to add the 1.0 real quick on, but yeah, they already had done it, but somehow not. I don't know what the actual plan for this was, but that's what the lead developer just or not just that's what the lead developer posted on in the comment section of the update.
I just realized that I was muted for part of that.
Category.
I just muted on stream. I was muted for part of that, so there's like a good chunk that I probably was muted for. Whoops, but it's okay. I'm gonna say this, and I do like the Yap session. Just for those that are at home, basically what I was basically agreeing that I think an off-topic session is helpful and stuff like that. But going back to what was just said now, I really don't like, and this is just me from one game developer to another, I don't like the concept of releasing a game without the Kickstarter promises. That gives me a big ick. I couldn't, and I know they're working on it. I know they are, and I know it's very important that they're getting it done, and they're chipping it away. They're hacking at it. They're getting it done. I would have never released a game in one point, and say without giving the Kickstarter promise stuff first. I feel, and I've even said this in my own team before, if I'm not delivering on my promises, my word means nothing. And 9 years in the books, and if you haven't delivered on like stuff like, I use air hockey as the biggest example, because air hockey should not be that difficult. It really shouldn't. If you can't deliver on that, I just don't feel comfortable in releasing it in 1 year. Again, and I'm sure there's a reason for everything, and I'm not saying that there isn't, and I'm sure it's deeper, and there's more deep reasons than on an outsider's perspective I would never know, and I'm never going to know because I don't need to. It's not my business. But it's fucking Pong, dog. How do you not get that done at least? You know what I'm saying? It's fucking Pong. It's been done since before I was born. I don't know. It just fucking
yeah, and so I'm sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, that things like Frisk said, yeah, we made a lot of changes, post links to pre 1.0 updates. Yeah, that's exactly what it did. Gigi just said 9 years and look at
bumper cars.
Bumper cars, yeah. And I give Meta Meta has a very good point. Air hockey sounds like a simplest of all the arcade games here, like the simplest thing to do for the arcade. Not only that, like in Gmod Tower you could play chess. Not chess. Checkers. I think chess wasn't implemented in the game, but checkers was implemented in the Condor, so you could play checkers in the Condor. They still haven't done this one. I don't know why. It's very simple. You could do that. It's just one more thing to add to your own Condor. If you have like a friend or something that they can just visit over and just play checkers 1-1. That could work really well. There are also people who make their own board games, which is like a major thing, but for some reason, I don't know why they wouldn't add. I mean, there are a couple of reasons why, but overall, I don't know why they couldn't add like things like this in the Condor.
Cool. I just did this.
Also,
I just did it just now.
In terms of making ice hockey, it would be so simple because like Unreal already has its own physics. So, and they've already got physics networking. So like, you just create like a puck actor, and then you just change like the friction, and like the bounciness, and there's just like built-in physics settings that you can tweak.
Yeah.
And then you just make the mallet controllable with like the mouse or the keyboard, and then that's it. Like you have to create some goals, like spawn in the things, but that's it.
I don't know. It's one of those things that I feel like I say this honestly. If they just said they don't know what they're doing, I would stop asking questions. I really would. I wouldn't make fun of them for that, because making a game is fucking hard, and learning a language from where they came from, it's fucking harder too. You have to learn on Unreal as it's coming out. which that's what they were doing for Unreal 4. You know, it was difficult, and I'm not gonna give them flack for that. If they just said they don't know what they're doing, then yeah, of course I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's freaking hard. It's tough. I'm so sorry to hear that. But I don't know. It's the same things I said. Anything else I'm just parroting here is just stuff I've said in my review before. It feels like they don't know. It feels like they don't know what they're doing, and they are not going to say that ever, and it sucks. But again, that's just me. That's my opinion. I'm just yapping at this point. It's why I made this slide in maybe the last 5 minutes. Oh, dude, these off-topic talks are fun. These are fun. Honestly, Abby Blueberry, should we just do this more often? I just like this. This is like a vibe. Like this right here.
True.
Yeah. Especially when others can jump in or not jump in or can just type in the chat and we can just see what what's with their opinion. It could be good. It could be with us, against us. It doesn't matter. I think opinions are just fine on any standpoint. It's just the same thing with certain people that gave you who certain people that do not like you personally, but they say that is a valid opinion for what you did to review, and I respect that. It's the most respectful thing that you can do. While most people are just
I'm just not gonna glaze them. You know, I'm not just gonna glaze everything that they're doing. You know, I feel like I deserve better, and I think everyone as a community deserves better than to glaze somebody as if they could do nothing wrong, like they're the Messiah. I could never.
Hey, at least you get free Steam points.
Dude, oh my god. If you haven't seen my review, please go feel free to take a look at that. You have no idea how many Steam points. I literally got over $200 worth of Steam points on this fucking shit. It's kind of crazy to me. Just for perspective, in Jester rewards only, 33 times 2, I have $66 worth of Steam points in that alone, which is crazy to me because I'm just like, damn, you guys are so kind to me. Thank you for the Steam points. Wow, that's very nice of you. But anyway. I'm sure that I mentioned it now. I probably will get less Steam points, but who cares? That's why I don't. Those are why I don't write Steam reviews. Hey, Meta, it's one of those things that I just like it. It's Steam points for me. Free points are the best kind of points, you know. Wow, thanks for the gold, kind stranger. You know, like I can go level up my badge. Honestly, I might be able to finish the Winter 2024 badge because of that Steam review. So you know what? Fuck it, I'm here for it. I'm happy that way. But
but I'm gonna say this. There's always going to be people that are like so petty. They just have to give you some sort of intention, even if it's bad. It's like here's some Jester because man, your reviews are terrible, and
how dare you have your own opinion. How dare you? You have an opinion differing than mine? How dare you?
And on your side, it's just 3 points.
Yeah, I'll be honest, and I say this to anyone that, if this is again off topic, but of course, if you ever want to review a game, turn off comments. If it's your opinion, you don't need to hear anyone else's. You really don't.
All right.
And you don't have to. Anyway, how long have we been doing this for? Actually, oh my god, it's been an hour 10. Damn.
Hour and 10, really? I thought hour and a half. Half an hour, like hour and 30
minutes. It didn't feel like an hour. I felt like honestly that we were going for longer, but honestly, I had a good time. This is.
Remember, you need to put a warning, like Toyap segment warning. It's time consuming.
When you go into the talk show, you know it's going to be more than an hour long. It's going to be roughly an hour, maybe an hour 15, and no more than. And I don't want it to go 90 minutes because honestly, that's too much yapping even for me. But
you know, it would be funnier if we had like guests, like let's just say where was it? With a section of come on, who was it? With who made the announcement? Who voice acted the announcer.
Yeah.
If you, for example, have him on the show and just going for the yap, like what's.
I could bring Gianni. You know what? That's actually a good idea. I could bring Gianni on here. That'd be cool.
Yeah, how is it like to voice acting? How was it in Twilight? How was it in like in other? If it was in other projects, something like that. It could be like, like a lot of we could talk for a very long time, especially when others in the chat could just ask questions or talk or just type with them. That's something that would be interesting. Wow. And would also like take more time to do, because it's not just us three, but it's gonna be like like fourth one, and we're gonna ask questions or like getting an interesting like something might interest us, and we just ask these kind of questions, and it could go on like for hours. Maybe.
One thing is for sure, definitely got to wrap up now. I'm being dragged to more stuff, but again, I really do want to thank everybody who came out today. Big thanks to everybody who's been putting up with the show since 2023. We've been hosting this since 2023. September 2023 was when we started. Big shout outs to everybody who stuck around. Shout outs to everyone who's here for season 2. You know, this was inspired because of the fact that I didn't like the way that talk shows were done, and now the fact that we got them this one here, you know, it's more like a monthly recap, but I'm honestly really happy. Season 2 is really hype. I hope you guys are going to be here for season 2, episode 2. I don't know why I couldn't count. Again, that's May 31st on that Saturday on Blueberry's birthday. We'll make it really special for a Blueberry Day. But until then, thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you all then, and be on the lookout. Yes, I will have those giveaways coming out later, probably next week. Those giveaway information is going to be out next week, and the IRL meetup at PAX East will be also coming out next week. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Keep your eyes open and stay straight. Don't stay straight. That's not what I meant to say. Stay safe on these streets, because these streets ain't safe. You know, it's really rough being out here. My bad. Listen. Listen, I'm getting rushed, so now my brain's like all over the place, alright? So, anyway, God damn! My brother came into my room with the please wrap it up sign from Game Awards. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. Thank you guys so much.